Oh my god.
There you go.
Okay, so I'm about to leave on a road trip to visit my friend. I'm gonna stop at some bookstores, gonna get some writing in, but all of this is kind of coalescing on this first day that my brother and I are starting this kind of like alpha reader exchange that we're doing, which I'm really excited about. So I actually have the first chapter of Under the Influence ready for him and I've uploaded it. I have to send him a list of questions still, and I was trying to finish this first chapter of A Closet Full of Cauldrons. I don't know that that's gonna happen right now before I have to leave and set out on my journey, but I am going to try and write it this weekend, hopefully a little bit more tonight, and maybe finalize some things there. Before we hit the road, let me send this email to my brother. All right, first stop in the reading part of the reading writing road trip weekend is actually the library. I have some books to return and some books that were on hold. Almost all of the books this time centered around pirates. Because I have gotten better at outlining, I think I'm ready to return, maybe hopefully, to writing the Meridian maps, at least to plotting out the rest of the series and really kind of feeling it out that way. But once I was done with the library, it was time to go over and pick up my friend Pam as we head over to our other friend Christiana's house for the weekend. Pam lives about an hour, hour and a half away from me, and then Christiana lives about another 2 hours after that. Along the way though, I had the genius idea to stop at some local bookstores. Just looking on Instagram about it's so pretty. Oh my god. But these are so cute. Wait.
Oh my god, my cats would kill them in a heartbeat, but I love them.
Admittedly, our first stop, Everyday Zen Gifts and Tea, had like a limited book collection, but it was so cute. I just like barely held back from buying the entire shop, but I do want to return there again in the future. And of course, no Texas road trip is complete without a stop to Buc-ee's. It has all your road trip essentials like gas, snacks, all branded with that iconic and slightly horrifying beaver.
What we got.
And finally, after the guidance of the most gorgeous moon along our drive, we arrived at Christiana's. This is her dog Penny. She is a sweetheart, about 10 years old, really doesn't have any teeth anymore, but the most adorable, precious little girl. I don't know if you can see that.
Oh my god, she has geese in her yard.
They run so fast. And one of the big things for this trip was that I wanted to reward myself for winning NaNoWriMo with a pedicure, which we did. It did not take them much convincing. Then of course it was time for book stop number 2 of the trip, a classic half-price books, where I found a true like flashback to the past for the splash-proof beach read. Oh my god, the pages. True Confessions of a Hollywood Starlet was like young adult before YA was a category, and I just had a moment where I was like, do I buy this book? Do I buy this? But I didn't. I held back ever so slightly. I am on the hunt for Legends and Lattes, which I might just have to cave and buy online, but I'm ready. This book talk trend has hooked me, and this sweet girl is Cinnamon. It is my favorite thing when I get to pet some dogs when I am away from my dogs. And finally it was time to live out all of my like normal small-ish town, medium-sized town dreams with Christmas in the Park, a cute free little light show of sorts, yes. cat is the most precious thing. Aw. I'm actually still reading this mystery. It's called Renovated to Death, Domestic Partners in Crime. It's the first one in the series, and it is like really, there's just, the concept was really good, but the actual execution is really going poorly in my opinion, but I can't stop reading it because there's just so much wrong with it that it has helped me in some ways to be like, oh no, this, I absolutely cannot do this when I'm writing my cozy mysteries. Does that make sense? And so I just like I keep going. I really can only do like a chapter a day, if that, but it's just, I need to see this through. I so often DNF books, but this is really just like the second I pick this book up, I'm like, I need to write, which is immediately what I did the next morning. On my own cozy mystery, A Closet Full of Cauldrons. It's actually a little bit funny because the next day we watched the first episode of Wednesday. Christiana had already seen it all, Pam and I had not. It hits a little bit on what I was hoping to do with the world for A Closet Full of Cauldrons, where really I want the world building and the structure of the world to be sort of Zootopia-esque, but I want the vibes to be more Stars Hollow of Gilmore Girls. And so it's kind of like Halloween Town, but like an aged up, I can't even say realistic, but just like an aged up version. That is the goal. And I had that epiphany and I was like, I am writing this down so that I can always remember to strive for that. And after a little bit more Christmas-y vibes in our lives and doing a little bit of shopping, we headed over to the third bookstore of the trip. And actually, I don't even know that it's not technically a bookstore. I honestly don't even know what this store is. They got books. They got Christmas. They got rugs. The random, like, Ollie just hanging around. Books were purchased, an escape room was won. Breakout. It is significantly easier with 3 people instead of 2. And then after dinner at a German restaurant, because we all met on a study abroad trip, and after accidentally stumbling upon the Bryan College Station Marathon, it was time for us to leave, and Pam and I hit up the 4th and final bookstore of the trip, and I think we saved the best for last. Oh, I see it. The Painted Porch Bookshop. Everything about this place was so comfy, so cozy, and frankly, my wallet is glad to have made it out there alive. I was ready to just throw all of it, my entire bank account, at this store. I can't find it. So I have this one and I have this one, and I got Beach Read from the library. But we made it out of the downtown, in quotes, district of Bastrop. We made it back to San Marcos, where I dropped Pam off, and then it was home. Okay, so now that I've returned home, I did want to go over my book haul for the weekend, as well as what I actually managed to get done. So first things first. Stickers. I got Baby Yoda, aka Grogu, with some bubble tea. So cute. And this happy little plant. So happy. So let's go ahead and put those on my computer now. And for books, I got Beach Read, which is the first of the Emily Henry books I read, but one that I had gotten from the library, and so I never actually bought it. I have been on the lookout for it, hadn't found it anywhere, so finding it at that cute little bookstore with the book chimney, the book fireplace, was like a sign. So I got that, and then while I was there, I almost hit myself in the face. Every time I do one of these book videos, I hit myself in the face. While I was there, I also saw this book, How Moon Fuentes Fell in Love with the Universe, and it looked just so pretty that I absolutely had to pick it up. When her twin sister reaches social media stardom, Moon Fuentes accepts her fate as the ugly and wanted sister hidden in the background, destined to be nothing more than her sister's camera woman. But this summer, Moon also takes a job as the merch girl on a tour bus full of beautiful influencers, and her fate begins to shift in the best possible way. Most notable is her bunkmate and new nemesis, Santiago Phillips, who is grumpy, combative, and also the hottest guy Moon has ever seen. Moon is certain she hates Santiago, and he hates her back. But as chance and destiny, and maybe, probably, close proximity, bring the two of them into each other's perpetual past, Moon starts to wonder if that's really true. She even starts to question her destiny as the unnoticed, unloved wallflower she always thought she was. Could the summer change Moon's life if she knows it? It just sounds so cute. Ooh, this title, The Wild Cosmic Beginning of All Beginnings. Anyways, the cover definitely got me. It looks adorable, and I'm very curious about this sort of iteration of YA as it introduces more and more of social media elements into the books as well. So as someone who's currently writing about social media influencers going to an island, it felt perfect. I also got myself an astrology coloring book because it looks so cute. And then also the back of the pages look like something that I could reuse. Like, I could color them, or I could reuse some of them. You know what I mean? Anyways, I'm feeling inspired. And then my internet wasn't working in that giant Ollie's store. But you know what? The books were so cheap that I was like, I gotta take this chance. So recognize that I've heard this book before, but I don't know what the reviews were. Again, beautiful cover. It's not that why do I feel the need to look up books? Like, why, you know, back when I used to go to a bookstore, I would just read the back, read the flaps, and be like, okay, I'm feeling this or not. And now I don't know if it's because I had been for so long on this book buying ban because of all this or what, but usually I like to see what Goodreads is saying beforehand. Maybe this is something I should stop. Like, maybe these books are going to be absolute bangers. So anyways, the crown of Dia had been stripped from me, my face changed, my body broken, but I was not a slave and I was not a spare. I was my mother's daughter and I would survive and endure. I would find my way back home. Intrigued. Is it easy to get this sticker off? Not as easy as at Half Price Books, but oh, Ollie, no, why do you do this to me? We'll do this later. Okay. I also got Must Love Books because yes, it got a quote from my girl Taylor Jenkins Reid, and the back of it makes it look like an application, which I think is just very fun. I wish more books did some variation of this. I'm sure not all the contents of books could like fit so easily on the back, but it was genius. And so, and then I got Dietland. Once again, this is one where I'm like, I've heard of it. Clearly it was an ABC original. I never watched it. I don't know, but Fight Club meets Margaret Atwood sounds very intriguing. Best book of the year. Like, how I missed it. I missed it. Absolutely fully. With like slightly older books, I did check that this one, besides the litany of quotes, the copyright was back in 2015. I'm always a little bit concerned with how our times have changed. That as I'm experiencing it for the first time in 2022, nearly 2023, some of these things might not hit the same way as they would have in 2015. So that's always a little bit of a concern, but I'm hopeful. I am intrigued. Yes, and then of course I got a puzzle. It looks very pretty. And we're almost fully into winter now, but you know, when I feel like I need the sun, I can return to a summer puzzle. Ta-da! Tiny little haul. As for the writing, I think I did a lot more percolating, which is to be expected when you're on a more vacation-y trip than a work-related trip. And even on more work-related writing retreats, I've found that oftentimes there's a lot more percolating sometimes than actual writing. But for a closet full of cauldrons, I came up with some names. I still have a little bit more to name, like the town. The town, of course, is going to be somewhat of a character in itself, so I think I just really want something that hits, and I haven't found that yet, but I'm hopeful. I really came up with the world building aspects that I wanted from this town, from this border town between the non-magical and the magical world. And I came up with some of the concepts for like book 2 or 3 or 4 as I'm going about this series. The thing I love about cozy mysteries is that they really just like can keep going. You need some evolution of the characters, of course. This first one's really about the relationship that the main character has with her parents, as she can't live on the magical side of town anymore, being a non-magical person from a family of witches. And yeah, her parents are in positions of power to potentially change these things that are actually like quite cruel when you get underneath it all. But they have not, and they might not. And so anyways, this is just sort of all these little things building, but that's really the heart of her story in this first one is, you know, she's the one who's gonna solve the mystery. I'm excited. And I did write about 1,000 words or so, which is phenomenal, but also it's not like the end of the chapter, as I had hoped. However, now that I am back, I have finished it. I have not yet sent it to my brother, but that might be a today activity. And I think just the biggest win for me overall, besides just the fun and the festivities with my friends, was those little bookstores, you know? It's just fun to see how they're set up. I love a small town bookstore. I love the like small town downtown area, especially as I'm currently writing one. It gives you like a lot of little inspiration, a little But that is gonna be it for me. Please do comment down below. Let me know what your favorite bookstore is, what you love most about it. Is it because they have like comfy couches that you can chill out on while you read? Is it that you really love the coffee that's there? Is it that they have all of your favorite books? Is it that they have recommendations? Let me know what books you've hauled recently. Let me know what you have written recently. And I will see you all very soon with a new video. Bye!